Well, I began a project and then I ended up doing something different. Let me take a sip of this youth nectar. So, I started with the camper. I got the batteries recharged, put it back inside, not installed yet. I had to work on the cables. And I got them in there. And since I'm having the shoulder issue, man, it's a pain. I have to get on my back, reach in through with the right and kind of grab blindly because I don't know, I can't see what I'm doing, and feel around and grab the cables that I think they are because I need the negative, pull it out. I got that done and I got them tied with a strap, and then I gotta do I did also the positive. So then I was having issues with the avalanche. I had to stop this. So the batteries are here. There's one over there, and I got some tools up there, and some of the cables. So then the avalanche, they started giving me codes. 300, PO300, PO31, PO300, PO31. So I got my trusty scanner and put it in the truck, activated it, and it didn't give me a definite this piston, that piston, or anything. The spark plugs are new on all of them. The spark plugs are new, and took it to the mechanic. Mechanic said, well, it doesn't give me a, he was having the same problem. It said a random misfire, random misfire. So I started looking at some videos, and it said it's one of the issues, not the issue. One of the issues is that the valve could be sticking because the engine goes from 4 cylinders to 8, back and forth. And so I said, okay, I put some marble oil, mystery marble oil, and running okay. And then I'm getting the signal again, check engine. And then it gave me a clunk noise, and it was saying stability track and this and that, and Jesus Christ, what the hell. So I kind of did some reviews online, and it has to do with the engine running efficiently. If it's not, the engine will start shutting down all these other issues to give you a signal not to drive the vehicle the way it is. So the stability track light went on. The a bunch of controls. I can't remember the other ones, but I said okay, so it must be a coil. So I looked at some videos, and some people say, oh, you do this and you do that and and you swap them. So what I did is I grabbed number one, because then it was giving me the 301, the PO 301. So that's the number one uh, piston. And then the across the other way is number two, and then back next to the number one is number three, and so on. Very simple. But it was giving me 301, 301. I said, okay, so it's number one. So what I did is I just swapped the coils. I power washed the engine also because it was filthy, original filth. So I power washed the engine, and I put the number three coil on the number one spot. So I swapped them, plugged everything back in. The check engine light went away. The engine is running smooth. So I still drove down to O'Reilly's because I already called to see if they had a coil. They said, yeah, they have one. I went down there, And then I said, let me borrow your scanner. So I plugged it in, and the scanner looks like mine. This is the Model 3 3040. They had the 503. I don't know which is better, but the ones that they have look a little more professional. So I said, okay, it's going to give me a better more information. I plugged it in, and I got the same message, 301. So I said, well, if the engine is running smooth, it's not misfiring like it was before, why is it giving me the 301? It should have gone to 303 because I swapped it. If the number 1 coil was bad, it would have gone over to number 3, and then it would have given me the signal number 303 is bad. It's not. So I figured there's not the coil. The spark plugs are new, so it's not the spark plugs. What's next? It could be the wire. So what I did is I ordered the wire, one wire, for the coil to the spark plug. It's about $29 for one, but they're hefty, they're beefy. So they say they're going to call me around 5 o'clock, and I want to wait until I can get it and go pick it up and plug it in and see what happens if it's still giving me the signal. Now, one thing that I have to do that I don't know how to do, because this I've had this thing for I'm embarrassed to say 4 years, I think, and I haven't really used it that much, so I'm not familiar with the unit. I'm going to find out how to erase the code, because maybe there is no code. But if I haven't erased it, cleaned it from the scanner, it's still going to give me the same thing. So I got to find out how to clear it. It says here, erase the DTCs, whatever that means. So maybe that's it. Code retrieval, view, erase DTC connect scan tool to the vehicle, test connector, turn the ignition key on, do not start the engine. The tool automatically linked to the vehicle computer. Once the code has been retrieved, press release the erase button. Press and release the erase button. So the erase button must be the red one. Right there, it has an eraser. Right there. That's simple enough. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to erase it when I'm done with my cigar and my drink. And maybe that'll be it. The TCDs. The DTCs. Gotta find out what that is too. More than one TDC was retrieved. Press and release the TDC button as necessary. Okay. Oh yeah, there is one. DTC. Okay, so I gotta go down the TDC. I guess it has to list and erase each one of them, and do that. Okay. Let me. Yesterday, I was gonna start working on the Blazer, but it was kind of cold, and my shoulder was giving me pain. So what I did is I just sat, watched some programs, and just put an electric heat pad that we have. It's very good. Once you get that joint warmed up, then the pain comes down. It doesn't go away because it's still there. I've had it since the accident. And there's a medical description to it. I don't remember what it's called, but I call it forever pain because that's what it is. It doesn't go away. Little Presidente. Brandy. Presidente with a lemon. Squeeze a lemon. So yeah. I also going to apply these Alpha Systems non-sag sealant to the roof. So wherever there is a through hole, a bolt or screw or anything, I'm going to apply some of this. It says ideal for vertical sloping applications. Well, I'm horizontal, so that's going to have to do. And the lady was telling me, I said, I got a small leak. What's the best thing you got? She goes, tape. And I'm going, tape? What do you mean tape? She goes, yeah, we got this white tape. You put it on us. You know, tape and sunlight don't get along too well. It doesn't last that long. Within a year, it's going to start peeling and everything. She said, no, this is tape made for that. But I'm not familiar with plugging things with tape. You know, in construction, we use asphalt. We use 204, 208. What's the name of the product? It's a blue can, and that's for all the through pipes that go through the ceiling. And you put the sleeve on it, and you pour this. You know, you apply it with a trowel. It's made out of asphalt, and it lasts forever. That's what I'm used to. I'm not going to do that on this thing, but I am going to apply that silicone, because when I saw that and I asked her, what about this? And she goes, yeah, that's pretty good too. And I said, okay, I'll take this. And it's like $9. So it better be good. Jesus Christ, everything's going up like crazy. We got a gas bill of $200 now. And we had a note from the gas company congratulating us, telling us that we were the lowest gas user on this whole block, because we don't have a stove for cooking. We have electrical. We only use the gas for the shower and then the fireplace sometimes. And I usually use the fireplace in winter, especially when it's raining or something like that. Makes it comfortable. But now it's $200, and we don't know why it went up so much. A lot of people are complaining. In fact, there was a lady on the news. I think I heard it this morning that she had a guy come over and disconnect the gas from her house because she does not use gas for anything. And she got a bill for $35. I said, wait a minute, but if I'm not using anything, how can you give me a bill for $35? It should be zero, right? So I don't know what's going on. They're just chucking up this expenses to make up for their losses, I guess. The way I understand it, the gas company pumps a certain amount of gas out of the ground and then stores it with a quota that they have to meet for the year. So they know that this year they're going to use so many cubic feet of gas or methane or whatever. I think that's what it is, methane coming out of the ground. So, and they store it underground containers, or like this place up here in, what's the name of the neighborhood? They had it in a hill. I don't know exactly how they store it under there. If there's a container down there, there's a cave. I don't know. They just pump it underground and then they pump it up. And the thing started leaking. And we know a lady that lived there, and she had all this soot and stuff because it started spewing this stuff. And anyways, they had to clean the house, and big mess. So they have these storage areas where they pump the gas on the ground and then they use it. So apparently this year, being that it was colder, this few days only, not 100, not the whole winter, but a few days being cold, a lot of people have been using gas. But the gas company has been hiking up the rates. So you're getting a bill for, not because you're using more gas, it's because they're charging more money for the gas you're using. That's why your bills are going up like that. And I don't think it's fair. Gasoline went up because of this idiot president that we have decided to stop the pipeline, and now everything has to be trucked down from the north. So we're still getting oil, but we're going to get it the old-fashioned way. So what's more convenient, that to have a water tap in your kitchen, or to get the bucket and go down to the stream and get a bucket of water and bring it up? This is what we're doing with the oil. They shut down the tap, so now you have to truck it from the north, bring it down by truck. So now you got trucking expenses, driver, insurance, maintenance, towing, accidents. All that stuff happens on the road. That brings up the cost of oil many, many times. And that's what these idiots don't think about. They just go, no, we're going to shut it down. And they think magically, they don't know the logistics of the whole process. The oil has to be brought down from the north, Canada and Alaska, down to Texas to get refined because we don't have enough refineries in the country. We don't have any refineries anywhere. We have a few in San Pedro, and then Texas has most of them. The oil has to be brought down by truck, which takes longer. So that's why the price of oil gone up, the inconvenience, and then we're buying more oil from out of the country, buying from the Middle East back there again, making the oil more expensive. Because what Trump did, he shut down. He didn't shut down, but he bought less oil from overseas, and we were pumping a lot of oil from our land, and that's why it's cheaper if you get it from your backyard. Let's say, we had it over here. We have several oil wells. Long Beach has got a bunch. Alameda, some Sepulveda Boulevard. You go up down the street, and it's got a bunch of them. And they're pumping. But if you shut those down, and now you have to truck the oil from up north, all you're doing is causing problems. You're not solving anything. You're not stopping anything. You're just making it harder. And that's what they want. They want to make it harder because they think you're going to stop driving, and they want to save the planet. Now, I saw this documentary about global warming, and they explained it pretty well. And you're gonna say, "Oh, yeah, they explained it pretty well, so you understand, right?" Because I'm not the understanding kind. No, I understand very well. The all these issues that we're having with the weather, because the weather is changing. There's no doubt. It's gonna get colder when it's cold. It's gonna get hotter when it's supposed to be hot, drier, etc. And there's it's a circle. One thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. Go back, and then it's it's completely going around. One affects the other. So one thing that kind of they mentioned that it kind of kind of threw me back was that in the northern regions, the and this is weird. The cocktail bush, the one with the little puffy thing, looks like a hot dog. It puts out more pollutants on the trees, more warming. In other words, more warming than the trees. And I'm going, whoa. So now it says because it's getting warmer further north, the plant is moving. The seeds are flying and landing, and they're sprouting before they used to land, but they would die because of the cold. So now seeds are sprouting where they weren't sprouting before because of the cold, it will kill it, etc. So that's producing more warming, more global warming. Then they talked about the swamps, the bacteria in the swamps, uh, not the swamps. What do you call that area up in the northern countries, in the northern hemispheres? Um, that it's the ice, it's on the ground, it never melts. It's not a glacier. What am I thinking? Oh, I got it on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, being that those areas are melting, now there are some enzymes in the ground that they're consuming more. They kind of woke up because now they were only woken up in the summer. Now they woke up all year long because there's no more ice in the tundra. That's the area. I knew I was going to get it in the tundra. So now these areas are melting, releasing these waking up these enzymes, and now they're eating and they're pooping, they're farting global warming like the cows, okay, and that's causing another issue. So everywhere you look, nature, not us, nature is the one warming up the the world. And apparently it's a cycle that we can't stop, because even if we stop driving and if we stop flying and we stop doing whatever is it that we're supposed to have done from the beginning, we've only been around with vehicles for about 100 years, a little bit over 100 years. But remember, we got volcanoes, we got underwater volcanoes, all this stuff has been warming the planet. And being that we're the intelligent ones on the food chain, we're getting the fault, we're getting the blame. But the thing is that the whole planet, it's using the system, it's moving towards warming the planet like it did way back in the day when there were dinosaurs. The whole world was pretty warm, and it was very humid, and huge plants, a lot of oxygen in the air, and these animals, the dinosaurs, grew to enormous proportions. All that stuff, it looks like it's going to come back naturally. Not the animals, but I'm talking about the weather. It's going to come back naturally. The hurricanes are going to get stronger. The winds are stronger. Everything is changing, and of course the climatologists are saying that we kick-started the whole thing, and now everything it took off. Now we can't stop it. So even if we stop driving, flying, using any vehicles, it's not going to halt. It's not going to halt. It might slow down a little bit. It's not going to halt. So we're screwed, basically. And this planet, it's living. It's alive. It's a living planet. This planet is going to do its thing regardless of what we're doing. Now, one thing that's going on that I don't agree with, and it really pisses me off, that for some reason in Brazil, they let these people cut down hundreds of acres a day for removing those trees, those beautiful big trees, that they produce oxygen also, by the way, and they keep the climate steady. Well, they're removing a lot of those trees because they're planting these trees that produce oil. I forgot that it's like a palm oil. That's what they call it. I forgot the name of that seed, but it's palm oil. And apparently the palm oil is used in a lot of stuff, including food. And that's what's going on. Brazil should say, okay, you're going to have this amount of land and no more than that. But they have cut down. I heard there was 20% of the forest, which is a lot. That's too much. I don't agree with that. The trees are there balancing the system, keeping it nice. And those trees are holding a lot of humidity, and there's always clouds lingering over them, and it rains a lot. Well, you remove those trees, those clouds are not going to be there, because those clouds are from the trees breathing out water in a gas form, like a fog. It's a cycle. The tree drinks the water from the ground, brings it up the trunk to the leaves. The tree uses the water as it needs it, and then it lets go, and it's like sweat. It's sweating that humidity up to the ceiling, to the sky. The clouds get bigger and bigger. They accumulate all that water, and then when it's full, boom, it'll drop it again. It'll rain, and it's a cycle. It's a beautiful cycle. But if you remove that tree, now the water has no way to get up there and make it rain and come back down. So what are you going to get? Desert. And that really pisses me off when I saw that. And they've been doing it for years. And another thing that really bugged me, and it bothered me a lot, was that they were cutting down these trees with the monkeys on them. And there was a single orangutan sitting on a lonely tree And he looked around, and the forest was gone. Man, that broke my heart. The forest was gone. Only one primate hanging onto a branch, and he's saying, "What, what happened to my home? That's not right. That's not right." And what happened to all the animal rights people? Where are they? You don't hear about them. All these organizations, all they do is make money for themselves. They don't really go out there and try to stop anything. You know, they should do something serious. All these corporations are using the land to their benefit, and we're getting the short end of the stick. That's what we're getting. Because they're not even investing. They're not even investing in the country. I think they take that money, they make their money, and they don't say, hey, we're going to put a school here for the natives, or we're going to do better roads, or we're going to do, you know, nothing. It's just money. It's for them. Go to the bank, get a bigger, make your account bigger. And basically they just the greed. I'm not against making money. Let me make that clear. But I don't like making money of onto the expense of others suffering, losing habitat for the animals. It's a shame. It's a shame. And we're doing the same thing here. We're hypocrites. All these people that want to do solar panels and wind uh, wind mills. Every time you do a solar panel installation in the desert, they go. They have crews going into the desert and yanking out turtles from their caves, from their burrows, and they're putting them in some some cage, and they die because they don't do well in captivity. And this is very well documented, and you don't hear about it because the companies, they want to make their money. They're destroying habitat for the sake of saving the planet. So you're saving the planet while killing the planet. Killing nature. You want to save nature while you're killing nature. That doesn't make any sense. Same thing with the windmills. Oh, windmill producing electricity, yada yada yada. You know how many you know how many birds have gotten killed because of that huge propeller. There's some fans up here that 340, 386 foot in diameter for those propellers. So the whole thing swings around, woof, and it's one tip to the other. So 386 feet. That's humongous, and they're very costly. And they get on fire. There's two people that died up there. They were doing maintenance. The thing caught on fire. They didn't have a rope to go down. I don't know how they get up there. But I didn't see that. But one guy jumped and he got killed. Obviously, it goes so high, and the other got burned to death. We're trying to fix a problem, doing it the wrong way. In my opinion, they're doing it the wrong way. They just get excited with this idea and they think that that's the only idea, and let's do it that way. In the meantime, we have an ocean here that we can draw the hydrogen from it and have hydrogen producing, cars running on hydrogen, plants producing electricity on hydrogen, electrical plants that they don't spew anything in the air. So there's not going to warm the planet, if that's what you're worried about. It's not going to destroy birds. It's not going to destroy turtles and other animals on the ground. And nobody says, hey, let's switch over to this. This is better. No. Why? Because they got money to invest it. They got money invested in the dirty deed. They think they're doing good, and they're just fucking it up. It's my opinion. I mean, I should go up there and get my surrounded by idiots hat and put it on to talk about this. But you know what I mean. Some of these people, they think that it's a one track mind, and we're going to do it this way, we're going to do it this way, we're going to do it this way, and they don't think it out. They don't think it through. When you're going to make a move on something, you got to weigh your options and say, okay, do I do it this way? Do I do it that way? Should I jump? Should I go around? If I'm going to jump, should I put a rope around my waist just in case? Things like that. They just make the decision. And solar is the answer. Oh, solar. And those people are mostly here in Southern California because we do get sun, but there's a lot of places around the country and around the world that they don't get that much sun. I hear that Germany is like in a bowl and it's always overcast, and never been there, but I knew a guy that lived there. So there's a lot of places around the world. Yeah, if you have sun, go ahead and have them, but have it in a place that is not going to kill or bother anything. But now they're taking over pieces of the desert. The last time I went up to the mountains with my, we went fishing up in the Sierras. The way down, and I've been on the road a million times. I see this glare in the distance, and I'm thinking, wow, is that a lake? Did it rain that much when we were gone? What is that? Well, when we got closer, it wasn't rain, it wasn't water. There were solar panels, huge swath. It looked like a lake. Those solar panels, and those panels are producing enough electricity for, I think it was 50 or 80,000 homes. Okay, but every time a bird flies over, bzz, cooked, because you got 1,000,000,000 degrees. There's a tower in the middle. I saw one that there's a tower in the middle, and all these panels are aiming towards that tower. There's water running through a spot up there where it collects the sun, heats up the water, and then they use it to move the turbines for electricity as steam. It's like a steam power type of thing with solar energy. But every time there's a bird flying over that, how do they know? How is a bird going to know that that's going to hurt him, kill him? It's going to fry him dead. Do they have any whistles around it or something to sonically shoo them away and scare them? Like they have those little things you put in front of the car to scare the deer when you're driving. There's a subsonic sound that it makes, and the deer hear it, and they hear it coming, so they're not going to cross the road in front of you and prevent an accident. Well, they should do something like that for those birds, so they don't fly over. I seen pictures of eagles on the ground, gotten hit by those fans. And those fans are noisy as hell too. You hear them go, ooh, ooh. They're noisy. It's not the perfect solution, but they're putting so much money behind it because of the companies that invest that money. They also invest in propaganda. They just brainwash everybody. So they don't show the problems. They only show that it's producing energy. And that's good. That is killing a lot of animals that shouldn't be dead because we're trying to save something. On the same time, we're killing everything else. It's incredible that well, the corporations have the world by the balls. That's basically who's running everything. Other corporations. Look at the vaccines. That they keep pushing the vaccine now. Oh, you get a booster and you gotta get another one. And the next year, well, who do you think is pushing for that? The pharmaceuticals. It's in the best interest. They're not gonna say, oh, this is gonna one shot and you're done. No, this is gonna be forever. It's like another flu shot. So they want to guarantee themselves that money coming in because the government is ignorant enough, stupid enough, and scared to tell people, you need another shot. You need another shot. You gotta get in line. You get another shot, and you have to get tested. And even though this disease is not killing anybody. killed a few of the at the beginning. But the second or third, what was it? The Delta, and then this is the third, the Omicron, something like that. And I heard there's a new one coming from France. It's got a different name. Psst, please. What happened with Ebola? That's a deadly disease. The Ebola really. What happened to it? Nothing. It stayed over there in Africa. It killed a few people, a few hundred people, maybe more. I don't have the numbers, but it didn't get over here. Why? Because that really would have put put shit in the ground. That really would have been a mess if the Ebola got spread over here like this disease. But being that this disease is not deadly, they let it run amok because they're making money. And then this idiot witch, because I call her a witch, she said, oh, we have to protect our investors in the American people. It slipped out. That shit slipped out. It's the investors who they're protecting. By the way, for you cigar smokers, I've been smoking cigars for years, but I never really sat in front of the camera and smoked a cigar. I have a book about the Cuban cigar story, how it started since Columbus discovered it, and where it grows, and what leaves that they use, and where they are from, and the different altitude in the ground, everything else. I got that book in my library. And by the way, the caciques, which are the Indian chiefs, the Taino chiefs, are called caciques, they didn't smoke it like we do. Believe it or not, they put the cigar up their nose and breathe in and then go. So Columbus saw that. He's going, what, what is that? And only the caciques would smoke a cigar, not everybody. It's like the Aztecs, they were drinking the chocolate from the big bean, the cocoa bean. It was only for the top people that would drink that chocolate. By the way, without sugar, so imagine how bitter that was. But that was the nectar of the gods, they called it. So only the chiefs, the medicine men, I guess, anybody like that would drink the chocolate. Well, in Cuba, only the caciques will smoke a cigar. But like I said, they would put it inside one of the nostrils and inhale. And hell no, I'm not gonna do that. So Columbus saw that. He tried it, but he tried it with his mouth. He liked it. He brought some cigars back with some birds that he brought in, a few Indians to show the queen. And when, a few years later, it spread all over Europe. And I read a story of an Englishman who was smoking a cigar, but I think he was smoking it in a pipe. And I'm not sure if he was smoking a pipe or not, but he was sitting on his tall chair, and you see the smoke, right? And his servant saw this smoke coming out, and he thought that the guy was on fire. He came with a bucket and just went poosh. He threw the bucket of water over him and got him all wet. And he's going, what the hell's going on? He thought the guy was on fire because, never seen smoke coming out of that guy before. So, little bits of story, history has to offer. But this cigar, this is a new one that I picked up. It's JR, and it's got a very small writing here. I'm trying to read it. Let me see. JR Ultimate. Ultimate special selection. JR Ultimate. I usually smoke Bolivar and a brand from JR. It's called Onyx. Those are my two favorite. And then JR came out one with the JR special, I believe. It's a little bigger around than this one, and it's a very smooth cigar. I gave a couple to a friend of mine in Florida. He goes, man, that's like cream, very, very relaxing, very smooth, good aroma. The Onyx has a lot of mix. I mean, it's got tobacco from, Jesus, start from the bottom up. Peru, I think Bolivia, no, Peru, Mexico, Nicaragua, Honduras, a wrapper from Connecticut, and I think it was in Nicaragua, Honduras, Peru. So it's got like 5 countries. I think I got them all. I can't remember I think it might have been Santo Domingo. Not too sure about that one. But that one has a very unique, good aroma. Even the non-smokers, they come up to me and they say, that smells good. That's a good cigar. My neighbor over here is not a smoker, and he complimented it on me. There was another guy. He passed away already, and an old Cuban. He came over to me, and I have a habit of taking the ring, like you saw. I take the little ring out. So he looked at it, couldn't tell what it was, and he asked me, and I told him what it was, an Onyx. He goes, "What? A what?" He threw some Cuban brand, and I said, "It's made in Central America by this American company." And he goes, "Man, that smells pretty good." So, but I try H. Upman from I think it's Honduras. I like that cigar. I tried I tried a Davidoff one time. Wow, very nice cigar. Expensive as hell, hard to find. I tried another one's called the Flor de las Antillas, the flower of the Antilles. Very good. The Cuban Aroma de Cuba, the flavor of Cuba, I think it's called. There's several cigars, and they're not cheap. I'm talking about $20 cigar, $25 cigars, which I don't buy those too often. Otherwise, forget about it. But this one here, I noticed that the dark ones are the better tasting for me. Anyways, there's some lighter ones, but you get a lighter taste. This is possibly is made for a cigar smoker that doesn't want that strong taste or aroma, because it's probably a new smoker and they don't want you to turn off and say, I don't want to smoke anymore because it's too strong. So they have light ones, but I like the strong ones. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me sick or anything. It's a very smooth cigar, very good aroma. And for you new guys, you never inhale a cigar. It's not a cigarette. This is not a cigarette. You never inhale a cigarette. I mean a cigar. So two things that tell you that the cigar is high quality is that the ash can grow 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches without falling off. That means that the wrapping was done excellent. And 2, then the cigar never turns off on its own. If you put it down, it should last you. Well, if you don't puff on it, it'll die. But if you put it on the ashtray and you walk away, it should be on by the time you come back. Let's say you want to go to the bathroom, do your deal, come back, the cigar still be on. If it's off, then the cigar is not that good. So this one, I've noticed that it gone off on me a couple of times. So it feels kind of tight. Yeah, it's very tight. The wrapping is done very tightly. This is probably made with a machine, because they have machine. In fact, when I bought it, yeah, this is very tight. When I bought it, I usually when I go to the website on JR Cigars, I go to handmade cigars, and that's my selection. but they show you these packets, you know, packets of 5 or 6, and if you pick those packets, you don't know how they were made because they're not under that listing. They're just separate. So I picked a packet of this one, and this is the first one I smoked today. So this is not hand wrapped. This is machine made. All right, guys, the battery looks like it's dying on me, so I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'll see you on the next one.